What's going on, my boxing brothers and sisters? Hey, listen, we got a new addition, a new interview of Major Key over here. You already know we get down with the greatest and rawest interviews around the YTBC. We got an up and coming little boxer, brawler type of female. Yes, the first actual female boxer that I have on my channel. So thank you for coming on because I've been dying to get a female boxer on here, and nothing better than to have somebody that's coming up with a perfect record of 4-0, two knockouts. You know what I mean? And great accolades when it comes to the background of 9-time national champ, two-time world team member, and all of that. So we're going to go ahead and introduce her in just a second. However, I do want to give a shout out to also Troy Graham for making things possible, my business partner. We have Coach Malachi from New Media USA. You know what I'm saying? My brother also from another mother out there in Miami. You know what I'm saying? And then also just joining the stream, my boy Shadow Ghost. You know what I'm saying? He's over here out of that DMV area as well. And then we have to also introduce the new queen of boxing. Okay, Melissa Odessa Parker. You know what I'm saying? And I apologize, I didn't add the last name in the other last name in the thumbnail, but we all know who you are. So La Bella Bestia, which means the beautiful beast. You know what I'm saying? If y'all don't know. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, listen, you watching the beauty and all of a sudden you get knocked out or turned into stone. So be careful, guys. All right. Yeah. What's up, Melissa? How you doing?
Hey, thanks for having me on. And yeah, I go by Melissa Odessa, so you had it right. And yo soy la bella bestia.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So for everybody that doesn't know, I mean, like you just kind of transitioned over into the pro within the last couple of years, right? So very, not too much of a big resume yet, but impressive nonetheless. So let people know what brought you into boxing, what took you so long to get professional, and what are you going to do, or what are your goals in boxing at this point? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I've been boxing for a little over 20 years now. And what got me into boxing is I was in high school. I loved playing sports. I tried every sport that I possibly could. And boxing is what got my attention and kept my attention. I fell in love with it. And I was willing to put in the hard work and discipline because of what I wanted. At the time, all we had were the worlds. And I kept hoping that the opportunity to be in the Olympics would happen. And then it did. So despite having a pro style, women's boxing wasn't really popping. You wasn't getting paid. You got to go overseas. Really hard to find fights. So my goal was the Olympics. I fell short for the Olympics. I made the world team twice. I didn't make the Pan Am team, which those are the 3 top amateur competitions that you could compete in. And I decided to turn pro last year. I was gone so long due to back-to-back injuries. But last year I decided, hey, I'm missing out. Women's boxing is starting to grow and I have some unfinished business. So last year, August, I turned pro and I fought 4 times. So I'm 4-0 with 2 KOs. And come Saturday, I'm going to be 5-0, but I'm going to be IBO world champion.
No doubt, no doubt. So tell us about your journey to this point. Like, because obviously there's a lot of female. Listen, I have 4 daughters myself. I have 4 daughters. They're literally inside my house right now. That's why I have to be out here on the patio because if I was to try to go live with 4 daughters in the house, you already know there's going to be complaining back. They're all arguing with each other. You know how that is, right? So as a female coming up, right? It's a tough sport. It's a tough sport, even for men. It's a tough sport. You know what I mean? It takes a lot to start getting recognition, to start making money, things like that. So for someone that has a passion for the sport, what would you tell them as far as how to continue and progress and to get to that level where you're definitely in the competition?
Man, if this is what you want and this is the sport you choose, first off, you can't be soft. You got to get some tough skin, especially being a woman. You deal with certain things that men don't deal with, but you're also in competition to be seen, to be heard, to be put on main cards. You just got to be patient and put in the work. Don't compare yourself to others. Look at what you're doing and stand out and let your own light shine. And that's what I do. I knew my time was coming. The only time you hear me talking crap is when it's honest, because I've been in this so long. I know a lot of these female boxers. I know a lot of their background. I know how they fight. And so I'm very outspoken, but I never look to step on anyone else's shine because I knew my time is coming. And this is my time.
That's what's up. I appreciate that. I'm going to pass it off to Troy. Then after Troy, it's going to be Coach Malachi, and then Shadow Ghost we have in the building as well. So go ahead, Troy.
I can't.
Go ahead, Melissa. Go ahead. How you doing?
Good. Just want to let you know I can't see any of you.
Nah, okay.
Oh, my bad. No. I have you on a solo layout. Hold on 1 second. I apologize. Go ahead.
There you are.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
I mean,
right.
I like my face, but I don't want to stare at it.
Yeah, no. It's just that you the champ here. You the champ. So we're trying to make sure that everybody sees you when you responded. But I'll do a better job of that. I'll go ahead and mix it up. So Troy's asking a question. After he asks the question, then I'll put you in a solo layout, and then I'll bring it back to when the next person asks a question. All right?
Appreciate that.
All right, no doubt.
All right. Well, first, thank you for showing up. Thank you for showing up. We definitely appreciate you. We definitely appreciate your time and having you here, right?
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And no problem, And as a Jamaican coming out the Bronx, I can say that I'm loving that accent of yours. So, yeah.
I try to tone it down, but when I get excited, it just
No, that's all right. That's all right. That's all right. You got two New Yorkers up in here, so you're all right. Now, okay, I got a totally different question for you. Okay. You have all the tools already. You could knock people out. I've seen a couple of your fights, right? You're very focused, you're very driven, and you actually know what you want to do in the sport. How can we help you become a face of women's boxing? And how can we help that sport grow on a whole? Because I don't think I don't believe that sport gets enough press, and and as far as respect, I can tell you that I don't feel the female boxers get a lot of respect either. So how can we over here, at Major Keys with Coach Malachi help actually grow that sport?
Mina, let me tell you, that's one of the best questions I've been asked so far, because people don't realize how much power they have. The audience is the one who has the power. So it's all about the support. If people not buying tickets, people not paying for the pay-per-view streams, people aren't listening in, it doesn't matter how well you can fight. You have to be in demand. So it's all about everybody wanting to see me fight, everyone wanting to see me on that platform, and just supporting me the way all of you are by just having me doing this interview and allowing the audience to get to know me.
That's actually a great answer, because to be honest with you, I get tired of having these debates when they ask, who's your top 10, and I'll put so-and-so in there who's a female boxer, and they'll be like, well, you can't do that. I'm like, why not? Why not, right? A fighter's a fighter, correct?
Exactly.
A fighter's a fighter. You shouldn't be separating the two. It shouldn't be female boxing and then our side. That doesn't make any sense to me. And I also think they dropped the ball by trying to market it to men. Mm-hmm. I think they should try to market more to women. Yeah, and how do you feel about that?
I feel that you see a shift. Now that we're getting exposure, you see that people want to see us fight. They see how exciting women are. Look at June 19th alone. Look how many women are fighting on the same night outside of me, which I think is a great thing, because now we're getting in the mix. Every card should have a mix of men and women, but where you fall on the card should be based upon your talent and what you bring to the table, because at the end of the day, it is a business and everybody's here to make money.
I 100% agree. I 100% agree. So I'm going to pass you on to Coach Malachi, but I'm going to tell you right here, you have a home now, right here at Major Keys. So if you ever want to come on and just push your next fight, or anybody might be training or anything you might be doing in the sport of boxing, you definitely got a home here. All right.
Oh man, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
No problem. No problem. Go ahead, Coach.
How you doing, Melissa? My name is Coach Malachi Williams. It's an honor to be on here, interviewing you right now, talking to you. My brother Troy Graham and Major Key, they reached out to me. And, I love women's boxing. I love it. I love women's boxing. And when he told me you was coming on, I said, man, please send me the link. I wanna get this interview. First of all, I want to say you look great. I mean, I'm like, you look ripped. I'm like, damn, like, what is her workout regimen?
Let's do right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh. Hey, Troy, man, you see, she got them guns, man.
I see it.
Yeah, but listen, Melissa, I wanted to ask you a quick question. I wrote a few things down, right? So I noticed that what I wanted to know was what has been the biggest adjustment that you had to make since you turned pro? Because I know you've been boxing a long time, but when you made that decision to turn pro, what's been the biggest adjustment? Like from a skill set standpoint, was it not that big of an adjustment?
The only adjustment I had to make was picking one weight class. Like, where do I want to go? But finally, my team and I discussed it, and we felt that based upon my weight, my experience, that we should start at bantamweight, because at the beginning of my pro career, we're only 4 fights, I fought 122, but the weight's been coming off without me really trying, just me staying in shape and doing what I'm supposed to. I've been able to hold weight really well. So it only made sense to start at 118, because once I start going up in weight, I have to work on putting the weight on properly and keeping it. So I'm not trying to play the yo-yo game of jumping weight classes.
Okay, so I noticed that I was doing some research, and I said you had an Achilles injury, right? Can you hear me, Melissa?
No, so my first injury was actually a fully ruptured ACL and partially torn meniscus, and then I wound up breaking the fibula in my right ankle sometime. So I had back major injuries, and that's the reason I was inactive for about 4 years. But once I fully recovered and I was to train for a year straight, I really decided, hey.
The feed is real bad. It's cutting in and out. The feed is real bad. I wasn't able to hear a lot of what you said, Melissa.
Yeah, you were breaking up a little bit. So basically, I just got a torn ACL and meniscus and stuff like that, and she was out for a minute because of that. So that was a great question though. So I definitely want to hear her response. Are you back with us right now, Melissa?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Okay, yeah, you were breaking up a little bit earlier. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, my apology. Let me know if it happens again. I'll try moving. But yeah, what happened was first I had a fully ruptured ACL and partial torn meniscus in my left knee. And when I had recovered for that, I came back to training. But a short time after that, I wound up breaking my fibula in my right ankle. So that's why I was gone for almost 4 years. And once I was able to train consistently for some time and knew that I would be able to compete, that's when I decided to just turn pro and go for it.
So that I'm glad you said that. I want to interject, because once you suffer those injuries, from a mental standpoint, psychological standpoint, what did you go through? Like, what's been the biggest adjustment that you had to make? Because that type of injury, you may not have the explosiveness that you had prior to the injury. Footwork is a major part of the boxing. You got to be able to push off. You got to be able to fight on the front foot, fight on the back foot, fight in angles. So, those injuries were, did it affect you mentally when you decided to go pro? That's one. And then two, what type of adjustment that you had to make after sustaining those injuries when you decided to go pro? Well, like what type of adjustment that you had to make?
Well, having those serious injuries definitely affected me mentally. I felt so down because I've made so many choices surrounding my boxing. Even my career choice to join the military was because I wanted to represent the military and also box for their team. So when I got injured and I wasn't able to compete in the Worlds the second time due to it, man, I was so down because I didn't medal at the first one. I
Yeah.
looked awesome fighting for the World's qualifier. I felt great. And this time I was determined that I was going to go to this 2016 Women's Worlds and at least medal. And then I tore my ACL. And I was so down. I put on a whole bunch of weight because all I was doing was eating. And I had to wait for surgery. And my recovery it was a tough one. But I knew what I wanted. And at that point, the only thing I wanted to do was just be able to walk and to work out. It was no longer in my mind even fighting. At that point, I'm thinking about being a mom, having a career, and just, I didn't realize that just walking I would take for granted, jogging, things that I would complain about, I physically could no longer do. Once I recovered and I turned pro, I still had some minor issues, but I've learned to work around them. One of my fights, I actually had another injury that's related to me breaking my ankle and the way I recovered, and I had to push through. Now I'm fully recovered. I have no excuses, minor aches and pains, but nothing that prevents me from being able to perform and execute the way I need to.
So when it, oh, you know what, that leads me to two more questions. So you running and jogging is a big part of getting in shape, keeping the weight off, building up your endurance and stuff like that. You wasn't able to run, you wasn't able to do anything. So what were you able to do? Like even now, are you able to just like run, like do just regular road work, or how do you? I mean, without trying to give away too much stuff to your opponent, but what else do you do to try to work on your cardio without putting a lot of pressure on those injured areas?
Look, let me tell you something though. My opponent could do training camp with me and still not beat me, so I ain't worried about it. But yeah, it was, I couldn't run. I'm at a point where I can jog now, but once my knee has had enough, I have to stop. But I can swim. VersaClimber has been my best friend. Hey, y'all want to sponsor me? I need one.
Okay.
But cardio equipment, walking the stairs. So there's other ways to do cardio circuits with free weights. I learned how to do the things that would help me, Pilates, hot yoga. So I incorporated all these new ways of doing cardio. But the great thing about it is I'm no longer doing harsh things on my body because I am getting older. So I would have to adjust anyway, because running for long miles all the time, it's definitely not the way to go about staying in shape and maintaining your weight.
Okay, I have one more question. I'm gonna pass it on. What is it about the business side of the sport of boxing that you don't like?
Oh wow, being pro, there's so many politics to it that I didn't realize. You have favorites, you have women being protected. My team has reached out to so many up and coming fighters, former world champions, current world champions, and it just seems like there's always a reason that they can't fight me. So I would say that's been the biggest frustrations, is the way that other women's team and management and promotion team are protecting them. Like, for instance, you have Shannon Courtney. Let's see what Eddie Hearn does with her, because she's now talking the talk about how she needs an opponent. But let's see if she actually faces someone who's going to challenge her. Because as a world champion,
Is she frozen?
should be stepping up and going against those. I'm back.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, I heard everything. You froze a little bit, though. You froze a little bit, but no, definitely, man. So, Coach, that was your final question. We're going to pass it off to Shadow, and then we'll bring it around. Of course, we're going to bring it around the panel again, so no problem. But Shadow, go ahead, man. It's your time.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Melissa?
Yes, I can hear you clearly. I'm doing
well. Just like Coach Malachi said, I got a link, so I didn't even know who I was gonna see. I just got it at the last second, but it just so happens that I saw your interview last night, and let me tell you, you don't need a promoter. You don't need a promoter. You are well spoken, and after your interview, I looked up. I tried to find as much as I can on YouTube, but I saw like the Sims fight. I think when you what was her name? Was it
Brittany.
Sims?
Hmm.
Yeah, it was a TKO. You're fast on your feet. That's number one. You're real fast on your feet. And I guess I kind of asked the same general questions that I ask normally everybody, but I guess the one I want to ask, the one I'm going to ask you is because I saw when you was talking about Amanda Serrano about how like remember how like you was happy about you did that because now she speaks up or whatever, and that goes to show me how your character is and how like you're. It seems to me like you're like a break, like you don't care, like you want all the smoke and everything like that. So I know like a lot of men, even men, they say they get nervous before fights or whatever. How do you honestly feel when when you're walking down and you're right about to fight? Like honestly, how do you feel? Do you feel nervous? Do you feel like like you're happy? Like how do you feel?
I get in the zone. If we're talking about right before I come out and I'm walking out, man, I'm in the zone. I love what I do. I'm passionate about what I do, and I'm there to knock heads off. Like that's what I do. So when it's game time, um I'm just in that zone. So I don't have time to be nervous because I can't stop the thoughts that enter my head, but I can choose what I entertain. And I remind myself I'm the best. No one is doing what I do. No one can do what I do. When you're well prepared, it's hard to get nervous. One of the things we used to say in the military was the 5 P's. Proper preparation prevents piss poor performance. That's really 6 words, but that was our motto. And that was one of the things I used to tell, my junior soldiers. And if I had Marines under me, that's what I used to tell them. I apply that same thing in my fight game. I'm so prepared that I'm excited. It's hard to get nervous.
Well, as a fellow veteran, thank you for your service. I appreciate you. I was Army 21 Whiskey. I was stationed out of Fort Lewis. But listen, I want to ask you one question, and I don't know why I always ask this question. It's kind of weird. I don't know why I'm obsessed with it. What do you eat after you weigh in? Like, so let's say you've cut weight already, you've made
Mhm.
weight, and you stepped on the scale, and you're about to fight the next night. I hear a lot of fighters say they eat spaghetti, they eat pasta, or they eat something. But some fighters say they don't eat that. Like they want to stay away from certain things. What do you eat the night before the fight? And do you eat on the morning of the fight? Like, you know what I mean?
Man, I eat the morning of weigh-in. Sometimes I eat the afternoon of weigh-in. I eat the next day, but
Yeah.
I actually use a meal prep service, and it helps out a lot because I'm so busy training, and then I'm not going to make my family eat the same things. So when I'm cooking and preparing food for them, I have my meals set aside. And I started using nutrition solutions, and they have been great. They change up their meals. So I don't change anything before my fight time. I've also been eating pasta and Spanish food. So I'll keep it the same. So when I weigh in, afterwards, I'll have some fruit to hydrate myself because I got to wait all day to weigh in. And then it's just, I eat the same thing I've been eating throughout camp. So it'll most likely be pasta, steak, Spanish food, or included one of my nutrition solution meals.
And you're at super bantamweight, right?
No,
Or are you higher now?
no, I'm lower. I'm at
Oh, you're
bantamweight.
lower. Oh, wow. How much? Just for that was the last question. Somebody actually put it up there. How much weight do you usually cut on your fights?
Since I've turned pro, I've been able to maintain and stay within 10 pounds. Other than my first fight,
Oh,
still a little chubby. But since then, between having a strength and conditioning coach, doing cardio, and training the way I'm supposed to, I like to make sure I'm within 15 pounds when I start camp, and I'm always able to stay within 10 throughout camp.
well,
That's why
you definitely look like you're in shape. So, and thank you so much, and I appreciate you for answering my questions.
No problem. But I can't give all my secrets away, okay?
Yeah, no, I will. Yeah, I'm gonna stop. Yeah.
Well, first and foremost, I want to say thank you for the Cash App to Eliezer Feliciano. That's a big support of the channel. You know what I mean? So thank you for you sending me, because we're trying to build a channel. We're a small channel, but again, this is getting shared throughout other people. I've already gotten a couple of text messages. That's why I keep turning off my camera, because people are texting me back and forth, and they're sharing you on their channel. So that's mad love. You know what I mean? So I wanted to ask you about a couple things. First of all, like what Shadow Ghost has told me, Shadow Ghost, that's like my brother to me. You know what I'm saying? We always talk on the phone and all that, and I know that he's been in the military. So first and foremost, salute to you for being in the military. We appreciate your service. Now, I seen you. I think it was the first time that you did an interview with Ness, and you said that you were medically retired, right? Medically retired.
I had told I was, I couldn't fight due to injuries that I was recovering from.
Right. So that's one of the things I wanted to get out the way, just in case somebody has questions about that, right? So because the torn ACL thing, the meniscus thing, like all that stuff, people have questions about that. So we want to get that out the way up front, because nevertheless, if people watch your fights, right, then they're gonna see that you're prepared to fight, right? That you can handle yourself. So all these old injuries, it's not like, it's not like an old person getting an old injury, like a new injury. These are things from the past. So we just want to get that out the way. With that being said, also now, you're in boxing though. You're boxing, right? What do you feel? Because I've looked up the compensation for boxers and stuff, and it's even worse for females, right? And then versus MMA. So you're in boxing, so you obviously have to have a passion, but you have Andre Rozier in your corner, right? He's still in your corner, right? Andre Rozier?
No.
No, you changed up? Okay. So talk about that then.
Well, we just, sometimes relationships can be a little too personal, because I see him as an uncle. I've known him literally since the beginning of my career. And, it was just unfortunate. We had a difference in opinion when it came to my career and me moving forward. So we had to separate. But I have nothing but love from Andre. He was the first person who, when I called him and I said, I want to fight, he said, let me call you back. And he called me back and he said, we're going to make this happen. And he jumped on top of it. And he is the reason I had my first 4 pro boxing matches as quickly as I did. He has always supported me. He has shown me nothing but love. But unfortunately, on a business level, we just had to part ways.
Okay. So okay. I get it. You know what I mean? I don't want to ask more than that. So with that being said, though, so who's your new coach and how are you feeling with that new transition, If
I could be honest, it's been a little bit of a roller coaster ride. And that's part of the reason I want to become world champion so quickly, is because I want to share with everyone the things that I've been experiencing and going through. I can't go into too many details until after my fight, but I do plan to speak about it, and I plan to be open. But all I can say is you got to stay strong in this sport. There's people who pretend they care. There's people who, when they see money in you, they present themselves as one way, and then you find out that's not the case. And I'm not talking about Andre Rozier at all, because he's one of the realest people you'll meet, and he's a caring person. But I'm speaking about the industry in itself. So those are some of the things I've been dealing with. I had to change teams. I've had to change management. And it's part of the game. That's why I say you got to have tough skin, because you have to protect yourself, and you have to make sure you're surrounded by a team that has your best interests at heart. But one of the great things that has happened is I wound up meeting Kenny Johnson, who is now my head coach. And what he has been able to bring out in me is awesome. I feel the best that I ever felt since turning pro.
That's what's up. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Troy. I respect your time. So I'm going to pass it around the panel for one final question. This is a live show. I usually only do Mondays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but we had to make some time for you today. You know, especially with your upcoming fight, which I'm going to ask you to go ahead and touch on before you leave. You know, and tell everybody where to find you as well. But she has a great fight coming up on Saturday, so this is why we're here right now. We couldn't wait to a later date. We had to have it right now. So with that being said, I'm gonna pass it to Troy and around the panel again.
No, back again. Now listen, I live close to a cargo train yard, so you might hear the horn go off and all that. I live about 3 miles from the train yard, right? But 4 years, Melissa, you suffered 4 years and you came back.
Since
Wow.
February of 2016, when I had my injury,
Mm-hmm.
until August of 2020, I have not competed or fought or consistently trained. But for August of 20, I was able to train for a little under a year, and that's when I knew, okay, I can do this, and that's when I decided to turn pro. So I've been pro a little under a year now.
Right, right. I was going to ask you to touch on, because that takes a lot of emotional and just spiritual strength to endure all that time. I'm going to start calling you Job, you know, throughout the interview. That took a lot.
I gotta act gangster. I gotta fight.
Definitely, definitely, because I can't imagine having to deal with that for 4 years. But that's a whole lot of respect. Maybe you could touch on that. You know, just you know where you found that strength to say that, you know, I gotta keep on going. I gotta keep on going and all that. But before you do that, there's a call. Well, before you do that, I heard you mention you like Spanish food, right?
Love it. I don't like it.
Okay. Okay. Well, you know, you need to talk to Major Keys. You know, he's a cook. You know, yeah. You know, he handles the Latin part of the cooking, and I'm Jamaican, so you get some arroz con pollo, you get some jerk chicken. You know, we can make it happen.
Get some chicharrón de
Hey,
pollo,
listen.
empanada.
There you go.
Hey, listen, I'm doing YouTube boxing just because that's my second passion. My first passion is food, and Troy knows I'm about to open up a food truck very shortly, and y'all might not be able to catch me on YouTube, but you know, hey,
That's awesome.
That's all right. That's all right. But go ahead and you know, I don't know if you want to share that, but yeah, just share that the strength it took to deal with that for 4 years, because I don't know too many people who have that internal strength to say that I could overcome this, you know.
I'm human, so you know I had my moments of feeling like I couldn't do it. But what kept pushing me is, man, I wear many hats, but one of the tallest hats I wear is being a mom of two beautiful children, Malia and Michael. And if they see me giving up, why would they continue going in anything that they do? I believe in you have to practice what you preach, because people are going to do what they see, not what they hear. So I have to stand behind what I believe in. And what kept me going throughout it all is I looked at the God within myself. You know, we are higher beings, um, and we have to take more responsibility for the way we think, the things we do, and how we want our life to progress. So I took accountability. I stopped looking at others. I stopped looking at excuses, because I could have been like, this is so unfair. And I started looking at my present and what I could do to change it or make it better. And once I changed my mindset, man, I was able to start seeing the change, and it manifested from the spiritual and the mental into the physical. And it works, and I keep doing it, and it's brought me this far.
That's yeah. Wow. Okay, well, I could definitely say that you're blessed and you're strong. Now, before I pass on to our coach here, I was gonna say something else to you. We actually do like a segment on here called Business Beats and Boxing, right? And we
Okay.
get the network, right? And I'd like to invite you to come on and do that segment. We do it like the second Monday of every month. So, you know, maybe we could work something out where you come on and you could do that segment as well.
Man, I'd love to give me opportunity to let everyone know. Nestor is my publicist.
Yes,
So
yeah.
interviews or anything, you hit up my publicist, we make it happen. But I will be more than happy to come on and be able to talk about what I love.
Yeah, good. Yeah, and thank you for shouting him out because I was going to shout out Nesta as well from the Boxing Voice. He's the reason why we have you on today. So big ups to him. And yes, Nesta. Much respect to you. Yes, yes, yes. Go ahead, Coach. Go ahead.
Yes, I do want to send a special shout out to Nestor. I never spoke with him, but he's down here in Miami with me. I'm in Miami as well. So shout out to that brother that I really
We
admire.
all in Florida, man. We all in Florida, man. Hey, we're gonna make it happen one day. We're gonna get a drink one day, Coach.
Sí, claro que sí. Yo soy también, yo soy dominicano también.
Sí, gracias, man.
Melissa, I have two questions, and this will be it. Okay, now once you become champion, I'm gonna put that out into the atmosphere. Once you become champion, do you think it'd be a lot easier for you to land the type of fights that you want to land, like the bigger fights?
I believe so, especially because of who my opponent is. Everything happens for a reason, and it worked out because I think that my current opponent is going to make a bigger statement than my former opponent who found a way out the fight. So I'm really excited because this is going to put me in a position where I hope the champions are going to be like, you can't come over to this side and think you're just going to take over. And that's going to make them want to go against me. But I'm ready to put myself in a position if I have to become a mandatory or look for unifications, because unifications trump mandatories, so that I can collect all the hardware.
Okay, yeah. Oh man, you just took. My next question was, do you plan on becoming undisputed? But you just answered that. So
Look, let me say this though. I have been saying since the beginning of my career, undisputed is the way to go. And that shit took fire. And now all you hear is undisputed. And I'm like, oh man, that was supposed to be my thing.
Right. Okay. I have one more question. Right. So once you become undisputed, we're gonna call this and speak this into existence. Once you become undisputed, what is your ultimate goal in the sport of boxing? Like, what's the end game, I guess?
My ultimate goal is just to represent women's boxing as well as I can, represent each and every belt I win the best I can, and to bring awareness to the things that are important to me through the sport. But I want to be undisputed in at least 2 different weight classes. I want to be unified in multiple weight classes, and I want to fight the best of the best. I want to take on as many world champions, as many up and comings that I possibly can, because I don't have much time left. I am getting older, and I've been doing this for so long. So I want to embrace the fact that I'm coming back from injuries. I'm able to do this. So I hit the ground running, and I don't plan to slow down.
Well, I will be sharing
34 is the new 24. Don't forget what everybody told you, Melissa. 34 is the new 24.
I feel great.
Well, I will be sharing this on my channel. I'm Coach Malachi Williams. My show is on New Media Today, USA Boxing. I will be sharing this. It was an honor and a pleasure and a privilege just to sit down for you to take the time out of your day to answer my questions. I really appreciate it, and I'm gonna do everything in my power on my channel. We're going to talk about you tomorrow on my channel. And I come on at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So I'm going to come on tomorrow, and I am going to mention you. I'm writing notes of it right now, and I'm going to share this video on my channel.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it. And great questions.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Coach. I appreciate you. This is why we do what we do. We network. You see what I'm saying? I got a small channel, but trust me, I've been dealing with the YouTube community for about a year and a half, and a lot of these channels are way bigger than mine. But they fuck with me, I apologize if nobody curses, you know what I'm saying? But we do here on Major Key sometimes,
Never know.
That's why I try to keep it like 18 and above. But I actually didn't choose an age selection for this one. That's why I apologize. But yeah, no, definitely everybody was interested. So I appreciate you, Coach, for sharing it on your platform. Also, Shadow Ghost has his own platform, and he's got his final questions right now as well. Final conversation, and also plug your channel as well while you're here.
Yes. First of all, I just want to say, usually when anybody usually talks to a fighter, right, they're usually very humble, or they like very cocky, or like very like they got like the dog in them. You have found a balance of both. Like you have, like you have a very good personality, but you also like, I fight anybody. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's very hard to find a person like that. You know what I mean? Because usually the person's like, you know, oh man, I'll beat everybody. I'm all that. But then, or you just find a person that's real humble, and you just have that balance. You just look like you have. And I just want to say it's kind of rare. I don't see that, like, you know, so I'm always going to root for you. So I'm not bullshitting, because I just like, I think that's a good quality. You know what I mean? So, I, he kind of, my only question was actually, it was actually what coach said, but actually, it was actually the end part of it was, at what point do you think, so I know you want to fight as many champions and get as many titles as you can, but us as boxing fans, right? We see fighters age throughout the years, and sometimes we see fighters take punishment, and sometimes we say maybe he should. And this is just us as fans, though. Sometimes, you know, we're watching legends, and we're watching, and sometimes we think like maybe he should hang it up. But who are we to say? You know, at what point do you think that a fighter should hang it up? Or when do you think that you would be at that point? Is it like when you're not happy anymore? Or is it when you feel like you've accomplished it? Or is it money? Or is it a combination of both? Because I feel like sometimes there are fighters that I see that probably are fighting when they should. There's no need to be fighting because they have money. You know what I mean? So it's like, what is it?
For me personally, I feel that I'll continue fighting up until the point where, one, I no longer want to do it and I'm not happy, because this is a dangerous sport. You can't half-ass it. So you either need to be all the way in or walk away. I refuse to fight past 40. They would have to, it would take a miracle, but I do not want to fight past my 40s. There's other things I want in life. And if I have another major injury, or I see that I'm taking too much damage, I promised my family that I will not hesitate to walk away. And that's a promise I will keep. And in general, I think that those are the things that fighters have to look at. How well are you performing? What kind of damage are you taking? Where are you at in life? Are you mentally able to handle this? Are you physically able to execute? But most of all, do you enjoy what you're doing? Because money isn't everything. You have to find what you love and make a career out of it. And that's my position, because I'm not being naive where I'm just looking to collect hardware. I'm also considered a prize fighter. My prize is monetary. It's
Mhm.
also a belt, but I'm also looking to be able to make money off of this, because I have to make a living. So that's the balance I find in knowing whether it's time to step away or continue.
And so I guess, so I know I said that, but that was my. So if you say six, not past 40, we're talking. So you kind of have like, that's really not. I wouldn't say that's not too long. That's enough time, but you have enough time to accomplish a lot of these goals if you look at it. You, I think you do. If you connect with the right people,
Most
you
I
know.
have at least years. Yeah.
Say-
So realistically, I'm looking at maybe the next 3 to 5 years. But if anything, changes, I'll cross that bridge when I get there.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for answering my questions. And I will share, if I will always promote you. And I have a channel, Shadow Ghost 81, and like Magic he said, we all network. And although some of our channels are small, some may bigger than others, we are all boxing fans, and we all have that camaraderie, and we all help each other out. So, thank you.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So listen, I don't want to
No,
take up
thank
any.
you. And, even in boxing.
There we go. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, no, we definitely appreciate your time. We definitely want to show some love, and again, shout out to Ness and Boxing Voice and all of that. I know Coach and
Yes,
Shadow, you
Boxing
guys
Voice.
got the last question. Any thoughts? Any last thoughts, Troy? And then Melissa, you make sure everybody knows where to follow you as well after Troy gets off his question.
Mister, aka Job. I said I was gonna call you Job. So yeah, all that strength. But I was gonna ask you to do a drop for us. I was gonna ask you to do it in English and Spanish if that's cool. Can you hear me?
I'm picking up.
Huh? I didn't hear you, Melissa.
It was breaking up bad. It was breaking up really bad, so I didn't hear any. I don't know if you're asking a question.
Okay, cool. I was going to ask you to do a drop for us.
But now it's clear again. Can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly. I can definitely hear you clearly because I was going to ask you to do a drop for us, one in English and one in Spanish. Is that cool?
Yeah, it's breaking up.
Okay. Yeah, because we have a saying over here. We have a saying, you know.
Still breaking up.
Major keys. I'm still breaking up.
Yeah, it's like a delay. It's like a delay too.
Yeah, it is.
Let me put myself on mute. Maybe that'll help. I don't know.
Her screen went blank real quick. Oh, okay. There you go. Go.
Say something.
Can you hear me? No, you can't hear me. Major Keys, can you hear me?
I can hear you, man. It's fine. It's fine. Listen.
Okay.
You know what? We could do this in the future with Melissa.
Right.
And I appreciate that, Troy. So, Melissa, though, if you can, and we'll wait for the delay if there's a delay, because it just sounds like a delay. Please let everybody know where to find you, where to follow you on all your social media platforms, so everybody can make sure that they show some support to you.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Melissa Odessa. Odessa with 2 D's, and also Title Night 2 in Miami, Florida. If you're in the area, you can purchase your tickets at signaturepunchtickets.com, or you could purchase the live pay-per-view stream on signaturepunch.tv. I will have the info posted on my Instagram, so you can go to Melissa Odessa if you want to find the direct link.
What was that Instagram again? What was that Instagram again?
Melissa Odessa.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do it right now. I'm gonna follow you right now.
That's what's up.
Yeah. I'm gonna follow her right now.
And with that being said, listen, it's been another great edition. Please, everybody, show some support. Coach Malachi Williams, which is New Media Boxing USA.
Yeah, New Media Today USA Boxing.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Say it again.
New Media Today USA.
New Media Today. Okay, got it. New Media Today Boxing, and then Shadow Ghost 81. You know what I mean? And then, of course, Melissa Odessa just gave you all the details where to follow her. And, of course, man, if you're not subscribed to Major Key, better subscribe. So, hey, love you guys. Have a great Thursday night. Hey, listen, man, I'm recovering from my birthday last night, man. I'm out here just chilling, you know, but we're going to watch that fight. Everybody make sure you watch that fight Saturday night and show some support, all right?
Thanks for having me. Pleasure.
My pleasure. Again, I'll reach out to Ness anytime you're having a fight or whatever. As a matter of fact, after you fight, after you beat that person's ass, you know what I'm saying? You come over here and talk to us about it. You know what I'm saying?
Most definitely. I'm already trying to get the next opponent. So
that's what we're talking about. Yeah. Look, everybody's already strapped. Look at Coach. Coach is flossing over here. We got it. Look.
No, I just followed you.
Let's put Coach on a solo. Let's put, look. This is Coach on a solo. Look, La Bella Bestia. He already got you on.
And definitely a shout out to the boxing. Yeah, I forgot to say too, man. A shout out to the Boxing Voice. I watch them every morning, man. So it's definitely a shout out.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. So y'all have a great evening, man. I'm gonna shut it down. Love you guys. It's Major Keys, aka the Clumsy Janitor, dropping keys all over the YTBC. We'll see you on the next episode. Peace.
Okay, es un placer conocerlo.
All right, I want to thank everybody for coming out as well in the chat room and all that. You know, bless up and thank you for this